Jurassic Park was going to be a theme park, or biological preserve, on an island named Isla Nublar 120 miles off the coast of Costa Rica. The park would feature living, breathing dinosaurs brought back to life by genetic engineering done by John Hammond and his company, InGen. After John Hammond and his team of scientists were able to successfully clone a dinosaur in the mid-1980s, Hammond and his company, International Genetics Technologies, Inc., or simply known as InGen, began plans of a theme park where dinosaurs would be the main attraction. Originally going to be in San Diego, Hammond quickly dreamed of something bigger, Isla Nublar. Construction on the park began on the island in 1988. The dinosaurs were hatched on Isla Sorna, InGen's nearby island where their research was done. Once the dinosaurs were old enough, they were transported to the park on Nublar where they would be put in their paddocks. On Isla Nublar, there were a number of facilities, both for park visitors and worker use. These included the helipad, which was where VIP guests would land on Isla Nublar. The Jurassic Park helipad had a wonderful waterfall behind it, making for incredible scenery. The Visitor Center, which was essentially the heart of the park. Located in the Visitor Center was the main hall, which featured an impressive display of dinosaur skeletons, the dining room, the laboratory, the Mr. DNA ride, the VIP lunchroom, and the control room. The entire park was controlled by staff and computers in the control room. The Velociraptor holding pen held 3 raptors that were too dangerous to be put in their own paddock. The maintenance shed, which consisted of a network of underground tunnels and a power room, is where all the park's power supply was located. An emergency bunker was located just a bit north of the visitor center and was where guests and workers would go in the case of an emergency, such as a dinosaur breaking loose. Hammond had a bungalow on the island where he would stay during visits. The main gates, which were large wooden gates with stone pillars on each side, were the entrance to the park and were controlled by computers. The East Dock is where supplies and staff would arrive to the island. There were 7 main paddocks in the park, which included 2 Dilophosaur paddocks, the Brachiosaurus paddock, the Velociraptor paddock, which wasn't in use during the events of the film, the Triceratops, Tyrannosaurus, and even a reserve paddock. Visitors would get around the park in modified Ford Explorers that ran on a track in the middle of the road, and staff would drive gas-powered Jeeps. The park was nearing completion in 1993 with a planned opening in 1994, but a fatal accident caused Hammond to need outside opinion that the park was safe to open. He invited scientists Dr. Alan Grant and Ellie Sattler, along with Dr. Ian Malcolm, down to the island for the weekend of June 11, 1993. However, the weekend did not go as planned and the dinosaurs broke out of their cages. Lives were lost and the park would not be open. 4 years later, in 1997, InGen, under their new CEO Peter Ludlow, had a plan to go to Isla Sorna to retrieve the dinosaurs that were left to roam free there, finish the Jurassic Park facility in San Diego, and then open it to the public to clear years of debt. However, when they brought the Tyrannosaurus to the mainland, it wreaked havoc, killing various InGen workers and even civilians. InGen had given up on Jurassic Park. Years later, Jurassic World would open, and Hammond's dream would finally come true. Some of the original park was left to rot, creating a ghostly shell of what it once was and the park that it could have been.